Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to MLB Live Before Lock. We're presented today by DraftKings. We are covering the best ball product for them there. Not throughout the entire program, obviously. It's MLB season, but friends, we are a month away from the regular season starting in the NFL streets. And if you're looking to play best ball, I can guarantee you there is no better place to go play than at the DraftKings lobby right now. Not only because I feel as though it's pretty advantageous for us, the player, especially if you've got great rankings. But $20 best ball lineup turns into $40 very quickly because you'll get an additional ticket when you sign up and play in their main contest, $15 million in prizes up top. I mean, I cannot wait for the best ball season and for the NFL season. We kind of wetted our whistle there with the Hall of Fame game. It was weird to see it in July, I will say that, but it is August. It is not just the dog days of summer, but the starlet, if you will. September, it's fast approaching. So as we begin this program, hit that like button and take advantage of that offer down below if you haven't already. I've been joined all week by my friend, my good dude over there who we lament like in the first at bat, like 5 seconds in for different stuff. But hey, hit the nail on the head on Thursday with that Seattle lineup. It's Matt Bellman, Fantasy Tips Matt over on X. Give him a follow. Yeah, JP Crawford batting eighth. Who would have thunk?
Yeah, we talked about that before. It ended up being a good night for me. I chopped the 333 and finished like 10th in the main. I only played a few lineups, and it's funny.
Awesome.
It was the first lineup that it obviously simulated very well in the tools. And I was, I played multiple lineups, as I said, and we talked about Cabrian Hayes, and I had Cabrian Hayes in another lineup. I was thinking about just playing the lineup that did well with Cabrian Hayes instead of Noel V. Marte. If I had done that, it would have won the main and everything. And we literally talked before about how pivots like that can be so huge. Oh, well, I'll take it. But what a crazy game between Cincinnati and Atlanta last night.
Never seen anything quite like it. I was recording my video and I was on Cincinnati, and so I just turned it off 11-3 going to the bottom of the eighth. So I changed it. And then I had like 45 notifications being like, Cincy, let's go. I'm like, what are you actually talking about? And of course, then they lose an extra, so it doesn't even matter. But it's been a really good week.
What a cock tease to lose an extras. I mean, come on.
I can't complain. I mean, it's been a really good week of betting for me, and it's been a really good, I'd say it's a solid week of DFS for me here. I haven't gotten drilled on anything here. I haven't binked anything, but love hearing that Matt ended up splitting that main in the 3-3-3. For those who don't know, Fantasy Tips Matt is a guy you want to be following because he puts his money where his mouth is. He absolutely is playing in the highest stakes tournaments over on DraftKings day in, day out. We are privileged. We are lucky to have him on these streams. I always love being able to pick his brain and talk through small field in addition to my large field portfolio. I'm going to play 150 today. I'm also going to play single entry, 151 lineups on the docket for me today. So I'm excited about today. Anything you want to talk about with this slate before we dive in?
Nah, I mean, it's a fun slate because we got a lot of games, a lot of new faces and new places. So that's always fun. A couple lineups that look completely different than they did 3 days ago. So fun slate to break down for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to be sharing the Sims tool throughout, but if you have not signed up for the Sims tool here at Stokastic, I don't know what you're doing because we have a lot of ways for you to be able to jump in at a pretty low entry fee. Like, I don't know, free 99. You guys sign up for one of our sponsor sites here on your screen, including DraftKings Pick 6. Absolutely love having them a part of this. You'll be able to get our DFS Sims tools for free. Now, Wanna Parlay is not a part of that here anymore, so you can remove that from the docket, but you have an opportunity to sign up for any of those other sites. Take advantage, jump on in, go to stokastic.com/DFS Sims for free. That is down in the link below. Sign up with one of our partner sites that are listed on the screen over there, and you will have access to the Sims tool for free. All you do is send that email to support with your betting ticket, it's your first betting ticket that you have, period. So support at stokastic.com. Sign up. Would love to see you guys here using the Sims. Things that have won, I don't know, Matt Bellman a lot of money, $400K that we just had for the interview for the Frenchman that was absolutely fantastic that Laffy covered the other day. But with that, let's get ourselves to some baseball. Are you ready for some baseball? A Friday night party. Doesn't sound the same, does it?
Not quite.
Not quite. But we have some pitching options. And, we're going to start on the expensive end like we always do. Hunter Brown Absolutely no love here, no discrimination here, Squirrel. Carlos Rodon, and then Logan Gilbert in Seattle, pulling all the ownership and all the land. He's got a 3 fantasy point better projection. He doesn't have to play outside. He's in the best, most pitcher-friendly ballpark you could possibly ask for, and his K props are out of control. I don't know what to say, Matt. Do you have any reason to pivot off of Logan Gilbert today in the expensive range?
Not really. I mean, he's at home. He's got like best in baseball type numbers.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's not the best pitcher in baseball. He's going to be really highly owned, and there are a lot of good pitchers on this slate. So, like, I don't think you have to play him, but I also don't think you have to fade him by any means. There's so many ways to get different. I have the most confidence in him out of any pitcher on the slate. It's not the cleanest spot. As I mentioned yesterday, Texas's lineup has upside, if nothing else. Kirby was good, though. I think Gilbert is most likely good as well. He's not even that expensive at 10K. I think and I could sense a little bit of pause before you said we're going to talk about the high expensive pitchers first, because the elephant in the room is Gavin Williams. Between the two chalk pitchers, I much prefer Gilbert. So we'll talk about Williams in a bit, but I think Gilbert is the best pitching play on the slate.
My Twins rolled out the worst lineup I have ever seen with 2 eyes. I've never seen anything quite as abhorrent as what we rolled out today. I award them no points, and may God have mercy on their soul.
Yeah, I mean, I actually don't think it's as bad as you do. Maybe I'm wrong. Certainly a lot of unknowns there. It's bad. I know it's not good, but I also think that, yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit.
Choke hold him. He hand builds, dude. We literally have been in the single lineup simulator utilizing the tools here at Stokastic throughout the entire week. Matt was emphasizing that that's what he was using. You can simulate with one lineup when you're hand building. Like, that's the beauty of the tools here. It doesn't matter what kind of player you are. You have an opportunity to utilize them to help you put together the best winning lineups. Matt, you used the tools yesterday, correct?
Of course. I mean, I'm using the tools to run lineups that I'm making by hand to tweak them. And I'm also like running out the like pre-contest simulator and picking lineups from there and maybe making tweaks to those and running them through the single lineup simulator. So the tools are a huge part of my process.
Twins are the worst team in baseball by far now. Okay, now we've gone a little far. If you're going to start saying that we're Colorado, I mean, yeah, we'll see. Buxton's out. We'll see. If we had Buxton in this lineup today, I wouldn't want to beat my head against a wall as much, but I kind of want to beat my head against a wall watching this. I mean, this is about as bad as it gets. So it's not that far-fetched, I suppose, but Chris Williams giving out 5 subs as well. I mean, this dude, every single time showing up here and giving out the goods for the people. So give Chris Williams some love. Good stuff. Arcathelza, yes, the tools. I am also a tool, but that's a different type of tool. Let's talk about the 9K range. There's 2 pitchers, Joe Ryan and Nick Pivetta. I will say this. 3 consecutive starts, sub 90 pitches. Joe Ryan was obviously a huge talking piece. We didn't start him in a couple of these because, well, we just didn't want him to get hurt if we were going to package him up. It's weird that he's still on the team considering it was a full-on fire sale, but we had been limiting his workload, 87, 88, 86 pitches. Is there a world where he just gets back to 9,500 here, Matt? Because now he's on the team. He's probably going to renegotiate in the offseason. I'm sure his agent and him don't want to throw 100 pitches, but like, I do think a guy who's making $3 million can still walk himself into even more money from us, or, you know, if he just ends up holding out, a way that he could get a ton of money in this offseason. He is under team control to 2027. So I understand why Minnesota ended up standing pat, but I think Joe Ryan's live for 90 plus pitches, especially after this deadline. And I think he's more interesting than currently being projected. And I do think people are going to get away from Joe Ryan in a spot they maybe shouldn't. And Nick Pivetta gets a St. Louis team that ended up parting ways with nothing. Nolan Arenado is on the IL. So that's one major strikeout averse bat that is now out of that lineup. You're going to replace it with something good. I kind of have a lot of interest in both of these 9K guys. Do you?
I do, but kind of buried the lead for me because the guy like more than them is Carlos Rodon, who we kind of glanced over, who's more than 10K. So I like Pivetta, I like Ryan, but I like Rodon slightly more. I like the spot better for him most between those three guys. He's a little bit more expensive, but same price range for all three of them. I think they all three look very similar, and that's evidenced in our top pitcher tool where they range from 17 to 16% as being a top two pitcher on the slate, all three of them. Pivetta getting the most ownership. He's the cheapest. I get it. I don't like him the best out of those three. At ownership, I think I like him the least. So give me Rodon, Ryan, and Pivetta in that order.
I kind of feel the same way as you do. I do think Rodon's interesting. I didn't mean to completely glance over it. He gets Miami without Jesus Sanchez, even though he would have been batting like 8th left on left today. But Miami hasn't been great for strikeouts overall. Xavier Edwards, Agustin Ramirez, Hernandez is basically your main guy, him and Kyle Stowers. Jacob Marcy, I don't even know what that is, but it sounds provocative. It's, like get down with your bad self at center field out there, Mr. Jacob. Jakob, if you will, because I always feel like if it has a K, if it's Jakob, just sounds better saying Jakob, right?
Yeah. I mean, I wonder I don't think I know anyone named Jacob who spells it with a K. Do you?
No, that'd be stupid.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to call out anyone, but I wonder what the thought process is for that.
Yeah. So this kid is interesting. Pretty good fielder, pretty good run, has no power. That I found a little bit interesting. I don't think at the 9 hole I'm going to be projecting too much of I really don't care all that much here. Rodon has been really, really good. We'll see how things come to fruition here with, the bottom half of this Miami lineup. These are the things as we get into August and September, you get all these call-ups, you get AAA kids that you have never heard of before. And I don't play Dynasty baseball anymore. So I'm learning about them basically at the same time as everybody these days. Whereas before I might've been ahead of the curve a little bit here, a little bit there, but nothing to really say other than I do think 10-2 Rodon in Miami, good pitchers park, something that you can definitely get behind. Do you have any Rodon Gilbert lineups that you're kind of entertaining?
Yeah, certainly. There's cheap offenses I like here, at least cheap pieces on a bunch of different offenses. So certainly doable. I mean, obviously Gavin Williams is going to be a guy we talk about soon, but it's not like he's dirt cheap. So you can definitely do it with Gilbert and Rodon. I don't think you have to by any means, but it's doable for sure.
All right, let's get into some tournament play, shall we? Robbie Ray, not pulling any ownership here in New York. Kevin Gausman going up against Kansas City. They are strikeout immune, although they do add a lefty. This is kind of like the interesting construction, I suppose. Back half of the lineup looks a little bit better for strikeouts with Grichuk and Yastrzemski there, but it's finished out by Frazier and Isbell today. So I don't think it's all that appealing of a spot to try to fire up Kevin Gausman and really make it work. I'm happy to be a little bit under the field because Kansas City, we kind of know at this point in time that's going to be a difficult strikeout matchup. David Peterson, no love whatsoever. I'm just fine with that. Even though San Francisco, there's always a reason to maybe attack a couple of those top of the lineup San Francisco guys specifically. We all know who's struggling this year on the San Francisco side. Rafael Devers, Willie Adames at times, Matt Chapman. There's a lot of strikeouts there, but David Peterson, 20% K-ARM, a little bit overpriced. I want to just hold it at the 8K range. Who's your favorite?
My favorite in the 8K range. Not a great range, as you kind of alluded to. Probably Ray. I think he's got the highest upside price per dollar in this range. Certainly not a clean spot, but you're not getting that with any of these guys. So give me Robbie Ray. But again, I think all three of these guys look pretty similar price considered.
They do. And I mean, I think if you made me just say, hey, somebody spiked a crazy amount of upside out of the middle of nowhere, maybe David Peterson, but he has such wide splits between lefties and righties, 28.2% K rate to lefties, 17.9% to righties. I want you to know it, kind of what I've referred to before. I kind of want to attack the Rafael Devers that we're watching this year. Jung-Hoo Lee doesn't strike out, though, from the left side, and that would be somebody you'd need to rack him up against. He just doesn't project very well, and that is why you're just not finding a ton of Ks in this lineup for him. But it's a San Francisco team that's absolutely reeling, and it wouldn't shock me whatsoever if David Peterson found a little something. Kevin Gausman's such a hard strikeout spot. Robbie Ray, We know who he is at this point in time. He is going to have games that he goes ballistic. He's going to have games where he walks too many, but the K rate's been precipitously dropping as the year's gone along. 25.5% is where it's sitting at now, above average in MLB, 22.2% being the league average, but he's been a career 29% K rate guy. And last season, we know 33%. It is just tough for me to really want to fire up any Robbie Ray at 8,800 when we can go into the 7K range.
Yeah, it's totally. I mean, you look at like the top pitcher tool and how it breaks down. It's almost like it's broken down per price range, except for Gavin Williams is the guy that really stands out.
Yeah, let's just get into Gavin Williams because I feel like you could play 100% today and it's not a problem. I mean, whatever the fuck we rolled out in Minnesota today. Yes, I said we. You heard me. I said we. Yeah, I said we. We have the worst lineup I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, I mean, I get your point. I don't think the lineup is that bad. It might be, but I don't think it is right now. They've got some young guys, and I just don't think Gavin Williams is good enough to be. I think he's going to be like in the higher dollar stuff, like 60+% owned. And I get it. I mean, he's way too cheap, but he puts runners on base. He's always had a problem walking guys. His, expected numbers are worse than his actual numbers. And he's certainly got high upside here, and he could totally break the slate, but he's just not a guy I ever feel comfortable with at crazy high ownership. That's not going to change today. I know he nuked the last slate he was on, really chalky at home against, I don't know, some other crappy team, his last home start. I get it. Like, I totally get it. He's too cheap. I don't feel like I want to play 100%, but I'm definitely going to have some.
I'm going to play somewhere in the like 80-90% range. You can see on your screen right now.
And I'm going to stack against the 70% owned Gavin Williams a little bit.
We have his ownership lower than what I think it's going to come in at. That's for sure. So I'm with you where maybe you could play that Minnesota stack and be a very, very brave soul in a very dark, dim world. But yeah, Minnesota, they completely sold out. And not only that, I will say this. It's going to be a lot more fun to stack against Minnesota when you don't have Varland and Duran and you don't have frickin' Jacks. I mean, we're going to have so many teams that find 6th, 7th, 8th inning success where that had been the best part of our team by a landslide was our bullpen setting it up to that. We closed out so many games where we were up. The problem is we didn't have a lot of games where we were up in the last month and a half. So that's a problem, Matt.
It's a great point. I mean, a really good point. Like, their bullpen is a bunch of unknown guys that probably aren't good. So I dig it.
It's going to be disgusting. I mean, I'm just even looking at it on Fangraphs right now. The amount of pain and sadness that I feel in my heart cannot be emphasized enough. I think Cole Sands is going to end up being our closer. Justin Topp has been okay, but like we're talking about from the best bullpen in baseball to the worst bullpen in baseball in a day. That's tough to do.
Very tough to do.
Anyway, let's continue on our merry way. In fact, hit that like button. Thank you, AJ Burrs. Always like to see that. But I look at this with Jacob Lopez, 4 kids, and I got to take all of that ass to showbiz. He's got strikeout stuff. He also gives up crazy power to righties. So pay attention to that. As for Jack Leiter, no thank you, even in Seattle. Shohei Ohtani, what in the world? I mean, obviously he's not pitching, so I should probably click on the pitcher tab. Although that's a conversation for a different day. I literally had that with somebody earlier today. Anything that shows up for you outside of Gavin Williams in that 7K range first?
Not really. I mean, like Jacob Lopez, I think is an interesting tournament play. He's got good numbers and he strikes out guys. And this Arizona lineup is depleted, but I also think the Arizona stack is wildly in play. No one looks like, I feel like if you're getting away from Williams, you're going to a different type of roster construction, a la spending up. That is correct. And is there anything down here? Because I've got one guy that the Sims really isn't getting to whatsoever. I mean, when you have 90% of a pitcher that shows up, like it's going to be hard to find other ways into it. But can I interest you in any way, shape, or form in Andrew Heaney? Nah.
Okay. That was good talk. Glad we had it.
He's just not no. I mean, he was good last time out. I'll give him credit there. But listen, I've seen crazier stuff. It's baseball. And if I were playing 150, maybe my opinion would change there. But in my 4 lineups, no, definitely not.
It's not his mic. He's got the fan over there. Just turn that fan down or whatever it is there for a quick second, just because the mic's getting it picked up. But
it's so low, but yeah, I got you.
You are just fine. Choke Hold'em. We got to make him happy. No, I appreciate you, my guy. Hit that like button, as I said before. Any other pitchers, period, down here? Because the pitching slate is probably the easiest we've had in a very, very, very long time for an 11-game main slate. Like, I think the options are very, very good that are chalky. I think you can still always say, hey, I'm going to stack up against some of these guys. But like in cash, you're playing Gilbert and Williams 1,000,000 times out of 1,000,000. And then in tournaments, I think you can find ways to get to Rodon. I think you can find ways to get to Ryan and Pivetta that I think is the most interesting range for tournaments, those 2 9K guys. But I really hate the cheapies today.
I am totally with you.
Okay. Glad we're on the same page there. We're going to jump over to FanDuel here in the single lineup simulator. I don't know, the tool where you're able to build out things by hand. And why did I end up getting signed out? That's hurtful. I work here. Why did it sign me out when I clicked on the single lineup simulator? Whatever. Don't mind me. We continue on our merry way to the pitchers here. And I'm going to actually take this out of the Zoom mode there. We've got Hunter Brown, your most expensive pitcher on FanDuel. Carlos Rodon, Logan Gilbert, 50 cent, Logan Gilbert. He'll teach you how to stunt. Joe Ryan, Nick Pivetta, Robbie Ray. Interesting different range up here. But in terms of ownership, this is the spot that if you wanted to get to Gavin Williams to be contrarian, go right ahead, because everybody is playing 10K Logan Gilbert, 50% of lineups. 7,800 does a lot for your roster, but it also kind of ruins the FanDuel slate with those two. How do you get away from playing tons of Gilbert and tons of Williams on FanDuel? In fact, nearly 90% of lineups have one of the two.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Like, you look at I just think Williams is underprojected. His ownership is underprojected everywhere, and that's going to make him even higher. I don't know about
this. This looks pretty. That looks pretty tasty.
What?
You think he's going to be higher owned than Gilbert?
No, I think he's going to be higher owned than 12%.
Oh, he's at 38%
on FanDuel.
FanDuel 38.5. Oh, sorry. Am I on the wrong deal? What in the world?
I see 12% for Williams on FanDuel.
No way. Oh yeah, no, we're jamming that. We're absolutely jamming that. Here you go.
I think that's
way more sense. I was gonna say it was the same thing you did yesterday, where it's like, oh yeah, the 200%. So now you need to mock me because I'm an absolute dum-dum. Don't mind me. Can you tell
a simple mistake?
FanDuel today?
Yeah, right. I'll just say this. A part of him being underprojected for ownership is going to make him higher owned, because if he were projected for higher ownership, the Sims would not like him as much. Yeah. But he's just going to be jammed everywhere. And I get it. Like you said, he's the best play on the slate, price per dollar. Yeah, same thing on FanDuel as DraftKings. He looks the exact same to me.
Where are we at here? They will be bad. One thing, the fan is too loud. Sound is muted on playback. Yada yada. So Tex, go kick.
God,
go
the
kick
muted
rock.
On playback.
We're not on playback.
I know,
That's not where
but
we are.
I know, but still, having to shout that out is
hurtful. It's hurtful. So Tex, you know what? It's okay. Matt Bellman ends up. He splits the 3-3-3. He's been absolutely smashing this MLB season. You win, Matt. Don't worry about it. Anyway, we continue to any tournament option you want to find whatsoever down here, because Joe Ryan, he's definitely more of a DK spot where you're playing two pitchers for me. Robbie Ray, there's a world where I want to take a shot on that, but I don't think I have the fortitude nor the ball size to be able to make it happen. Jacob Lopez at 1%. How disgusting do I feel? Jacob Lopez is 1%. I think I could try to make that a thing.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's got good underlying numbers and he's been good this year. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, I think that really kind of does it, though. I don't have a ton else to look at on FanDuel. When you've got 50% ownership coming into Gilbert Williams, when you've got Pivetta, Rodon right there, 10-4, 10-1, that you can kind of pivot off of the Gilbert deal. A little bit easier on FanDuel, where it's like, hey, I just simply changed the one piece. The Gilbert turns into Carlos Rodon, and then the entire lineup stays the same. Like, it's really, really difficult to like get away from this ownership up here.
Couldn't agree more.
All right. Well, I love that you agree. I also think we can agree that NFL, it's going to be a really fun time of year, is it not?
Always is.
It always is, friends. It always is. But it's even more fun when you talk DraftKings best ball. And it is an awesome opportunity right now for you guys to be able to sign up at the link below. $20 best ball lineup turns into an additional ticket. That'd be a $20 value. So for for $20, you can get $40 of value and 15 million in prizes up top. Couple mil to first. I mean, just a ridiculous amount of equity that exists out there in the best ball streets. Go take advantage of it right now. Our sponsor here for today's program, DraftKings Best Ball, the best place you can possibly put your money at this point in time. All righty, let's get ourselves going to some stacks. And this is where, I mean, it's kind of weird. Like, with as chalky as the pitchers are today, I think it makes sense that we're going to be spending as much time as what we are here on our stacks. And I'm trying to get everything situated here. I don't want to have to run this again, but I think I have to now that it ended up logging me out. So I'm going to ask this in the interim. We have Coors Field on today's slate. It's our first day the entire week that we've had Coors Field here. We're coming off the trade deadline. Pittsburgh, they didn't do much. Colorado, they didn't do much. But boy, oh boy, do they have phenomenal spots that they got dropped into, Matt Bellman. How are you feeling about Coors on today's slate before I ask you who your single entry team is going to be?
Coors is interesting because it's two crappy pitchers. Certainly Senzatella, awful. And Heaney, not good. Both pitchers are not good, but two really bad offenses. So it's an ownership thing for me. Oh, man, like they both look really good on paper. I think they both look good here. Like Senzatella is that bad where any team against him in Coors is going to look really good. That's just the fact. So I like Pittsburgh here. I don't want to sell my soul for Pittsburgh because at the end of the day, they're still the Pirates. It's like the movable object meets the stoppable force with the Pirates against Senzatella. I mean, the bottom of Pittsburgh's lineup is so bad, but Senzatella might be the worst pitcher in baseball, and he's pitching in Coors. So at the end of the day, I do like the Pirates, and I also like the Rockies. I think both stacks look good here.
Yeah, look at the Sims. Number one stack today still going to be Pittsburgh. 16% 5-stack exposure. Arizona in the 2-hole there. But we have I would call this pretty flat on an 11-game slate to have 16% be the highest. You just saw, I just ran the Sims completely untouched. And you get an opportunity for Pittsburgh, Arizona, the Angels, the White Sox in that same game. That's wild. And the Athletics in the same game environment. It's basically just Pittsburgh joining the entire evening window of baseball. Yeah, we've got some interesting stack choices. That is for sure, which leads me to this, Matt. One stack to rule them all, one stack to find them. Who is your single entry stack for today?
Still deciding that, so I don't have a concrete answer. I mean,
who's your favorite right now? Gun to your head.
The Rockies. I'll say Colorado.
Oh, I love that. I feel like I play Colorado in single entry every day, and I'm probably going to today as well.
I mean, I feel like their lineup is better than Pittsburgh's, and Heaney is not as bad as Senzatella. Like, but on a start-to-start basis, he can easily be just as bad. Like, consistently wise, Heaney will have better spike starts than Senzatella. He's a better pitcher, but he's not good. And Colorado's half his owned. So give me the Rockies here. Although I'm not going to lie, kind of worried their ownership is higher than we're projecting also. Because if you boost Gavin Williams, then it's like you can fit Colorado easier. So maybe Pittsburgh's the team that comes in a little bit lower than we're projecting. I don't know. It's always that mind game, you know?
It's a little bit of a mind game. I mean, MLB DFS has been the Wild West, I think, in ownership this year at times. We've seen some crazy stuff based on a number of different factors. I mean, everybody's using, You know, we were at the forefront of simulation tools and being able to get people the best data possible and combining it with the best tools possible. Other people have tried to copy it, tried to replicate it. But yeah, simulation tools have now changed the game in a way where it is more fluid. And in single entry, I still think you're going to get pretty pronounced chalk on Pittsburgh. Maybe that does happen here with Colorado. They are second in our top stack tool on DraftKings, 9.1% top stack percentage going their direction. But then I just don't know how this doesn't end up being an awesome opportunity in single entry as well, where if you hold off on Coors, you're going to know where that ownership lands. And you've got, I think, the most interesting single entry teams right behind it if you don't go the Colorado route. And that's the only thing that's keeping me from like completely firing in this. We've got White Sox and Angels. Both teams look incredible for single entry. We got Athletics Diamondbacks. That game looks incredible for single entry. And you'd get to know the Coors Field ownership before you entered it. I think there's something to be said about that, Matt.
What do you mean you'd get to know the Coors? Oh, okay.
Link swap. Yeah, just like being able to have your lineup and understand like, okay, that ended up higher owned than I expected, lower owned than I expected. Logan Gilbert's going to be the most expensive pitcher, the most popular pitcher in that expensive range. You will have a piece to be able to maneuver your lineups with, and you'll have information about what happened to Gavin Williams, where if he gets completely torched and he's in your single entry lineup, I definitely don't want to play Coors with that.
A lot of people are going to play Coors with Williams and Gilbert. I mean,
yep,
that's just the easiest build to make tonight. So yeah, I'm more with you.
Yesterday we won the slate for a lot of people talking through the game theory element, and I think that there's a really
I love that
element to this too. Like
that's my favorite, so I'm totally about it, and I'm with you more than against you on this one. There's a lot of good stacks. I don't think you have to put yourself in the Coors corner at all.
Amongst these other stacks that we're getting big 5-man exposure to, do you have a favorite that isn't Coors Field, that isn't Pittsburgh or Colorado? Because Arizona, LA, White Sox, Athletics, all four of those, as I alluded to before, going in that evening window, an hour after when Coors Field is going to lock. So I'm just curious, do you have a favorite of those teams?
I like the White Sox here. Like, how often do you see the White Sox this high up in the top stack tool? They're cheap. I love teams that rate highly in the top stack tool. They rank amazing in the value score, and they're still not owned. Like, that's a great combo, in my opinion. Like, elite combo.
I've been thinking about what since he said what? Oh, what do you think his hammer's like? Oh, okay. We're playing the YouTube Nightbot game. Ha 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 ha. I saw Loco in there. Hit that like button for everybody. Shout out Loco. He also wants me to sing Dong of the Day. I don't know if I've got it in me today. I'll have to warm the vocal cords up here a little bit, that's for sure. But let's talk about some other stacks that we're going to have some interest in here, because we do have some gas cans that we can target here. Let's focus on, all right, we've got a couple lineups. We're going to get away from Coors Field and a couple, again, Pittsburgh, Colorado, both look fantastic. I'm not going to say anything about that. Over 25% of the time, so a quarter of the time plus, they're going to be optimal on today's slate based on the top stacks tool. But where else are you looking at going today that isn't even necessarily any of these teams that we've talked about? Because there are some appealing options earlier in the day too.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, there's good stacks all over the board. The Yankees against Jansen Junk. I'm totally about that. I like the Dodgers, man. I love Ohtani. Japanese heritage tonight in Tampa Bay. Like, in
is
this
it really?
Ballpark, yeah, in this ballpark. I mean, yeah, and I mean, he's the same price as O'Neal Cruz, who's going to get ownership. Like, will O'Neal Cruz be higher owned than Ohtani tonight?
Bro, I mean, I think O'Neal Cruz might be like the worst home run bet that I've seen in a long time today. Like,
anytime O'Neal Cruz is as high owned as Ohtani, just give me Ohtani.
I agree. I 100% agree with you there. And I do again, we're not saying O'Neal Cruz is a bad play, but he is 6,300 batting fifth. This comes down to like also projected at bats. Like, Ohtani batting second, a little bit different than him batting leadoff to some extent too. But, you know, as far as like, you look at some of these other bats, like 6,300 5-hole hitter is pretty nuts. I mean, that's Eugenio Suarez all year with Arizona, but like, it's just so weird to be paying that much for a guy who is batting fifth. I know that seems like a weird way of phrasing it, but like, it's somewhat appropriate.
And it is a great spot for O'Neal Cruz. Like Sentatello doesn't miss bats, so O'Neal Cruz putting the ball in play here is amazing for his upside. But I mean, it's still Ohtani. Like I like Ohtani a lot here. I'm sure Ohtani will still get owned, but still.
So the main concern I have for stacking the Dodgers, and Ohtani, I think, just defies anything that you're looking at on paper when it comes to like a guy like Shane Baz. But Shane Baz has freaky reverse splits, like freaky reverse splits. Like you want to get as many righties in as humanly possible against a guy like Shane Baz. And you can see that with today's lineup to some extent, but like, I'd almost like encourage the Dodgers to have Edman and Freeland go up there and hit from the right side, because listen to this. Shane Baz, 28.4% K rate against lefties, 18.9% against righties. And we have massive sample size on both of those this season. We're talking an unbelievable reverse splits pitcher. And the expected ISO is even crazier. Get this. 200 expected ISO versus righties, 0.087 expected ISO against lefties. I said it before, Ohtani defies logic, but the Dodgers are so reverse splits, or sorry, like Shane Baz is so reverse splits that like I have almost no interest in stacking up anything with Freddie Freeman, with Michael Conforto, or if they're going to have these switch hitters hit from the left side, which I assume they will, because it would just be weird, I suppose, to not have them do that. I don't think this is that good of a spot for the Dodgers, like as the stack.
I get it. I agree with you. I like the Dodgers just because of their upside, and if they get to Baz, they get into that bullpen. But I agree with you. I wish they had more righties. Ohtani is a different beast, but I'm totally with you there. No arguments.
Yeah, just the Ohtani, he defies everything. So like somebody with a 422 expected ISO, we're going to give him a break. A 458 ex-Woba against righties. Like, come on now. Like, as good as Shane Baz is against the opposite hand, like, I don't know. It's some insane reverse splits. So if you are stacking them up, may I say Mookie Betts, Will Smith, Teoscar Hernandez, Andy Pages, and then throwing in a Shohei Ohtani would be my preferred way of doing it. Just my 2 cents. Let's jump along to some other stacks that I think are a little bit interesting. What's going on with Hunter Brown right now?
I don't know, but he's still crazy expensive and in a not great spot. So I'm kind of off him. I mean, I am off him tonight.
There's a part of me that wants to fire off, like really does want to fire off a little bit of Boston.
Yeah, part of me wants to too. If I were playing 150, I would have some.
I think it's a large field play a little bit more than small field. I'm not going to make a vouch for them in large field tournaments, but Hunter Brown has some interesting things going on with him right now. He had been lights out, absolutely destructive to start off the season. And I'm not saying that he's bad. I think it's been a little bit of a regression towards the mean, but like he hasn't gotten outside of 5 innings, like beyond 5 innings in 3 consecutive starts. The strikeouts have been somewhat there, but like only 1 long ball. I think my major issue is that like he's just so much better than some of these gas cans that we have on this slate, like Senzatello, like Heaney, like Shane Smith, Tyler Anderson, Desclafani, who has been good in limited sample sizes, but like that's exactly what they are. Very limited sample sizes. He's going to be stretched out now to be a starter, to be that 5th, 4th starter for the Arizona Diamondbacks going forward. And as such, I don't think he's going to be as good going forward. So Hunter Brown, I think it might just be trying to get a little too cute, but in large field, really do like the idea of trying to mix some of those guys into your portfolio.
I'm with that. I think that they have high upside here for what looks like Brown is, clearly overpriced on DraftKings right now, and he is working through some stuff, we'll put it. So I like that call. They were
working through some stuff. He's in repair, if you will. Houston on the other side of that, up against Cooper Criswell. I'm not in love with it as much, but it is a different looking lineup with Jesus Sanchez, Carlos Correa sitting there in the 3 and 4 hole. That's for sure. Their
lineup looks good.
Like, I really like the Sanchez acquisition. I don't think it can be emphasized enough how sharp that was. I can't believe he was available, to be honest, but whatever. Jesus Sanchez, one of my favorite like mix-in one-offs that you're going to get on this slate. I think him, Trent Grisham against Junk, I think is another great one. Roman Anthony, that's the guy that I'm paying attention to as well. Leadoff hitter here for Boston going forward, said that they liked him in that spot. Jason Dominguez, like a lot of these 3K, mid 3K guys where you maybe get away from the Doyles of the world, batting 7th for Colorado. You get away from some of the ownership that exists on the Pittsburgh side where, they have more expensive outfielders with the combination of Pham, McCutchen, Reynolds, all being, 4K plus, but just trying to find ways of getting different on this slate. I think that that's another interesting one. Who is Arizona's starting pitcher? It's going to be Anthony Desclafani. He got announced that he was going to be, they were going to test him out as their 4th, 5th guy here going forward. He's been really good to start off this season, but he hasn't gone beyond 60 pitches in a game yet. He went 50 in his last outing there on the 25th. So it sets up to be a pretty good spot, I think, for an Athletics team that, do we want to cover this? We've got another AAA park here with the Dodgers, Tampa Bay, Arizona Athletics. So pretty good spot for both of them there. The Arizona Athletics game, I haven't heard you mention that whatsoever. Do you have a preferred side of that one?
I like both sides. I think Arizona probably, but it's close. I mean, they both look good. I don't have a strong preference there. How about yourself?
I'm trying to figure that out too. I mean, there's some cheapy exposure that you can get on the Arizona side now because we have Locklear. Where is he at here? 2,500 for him. Good Lord Almighty, that's going to look really, really good. Batting 5th today, 2.5K batting 5th. He's one of your better one-offs. Going to be somebody that. What is his current ownership here? We'll look at that when we get into the single lineup simulator here as well. Got the top batters tool here in the corner, but obviously that doesn't have my ownership that I was looking for here on it. But I definitely think that Locklear is going to be unbelievable in terms of like what his ownership ends up being. And then everybody is sub 2.5K after him. Blaze Alexander, Jorge Barosa, Alec Thomas, Jose Herrera. None of them are good. Some of them youngies that we have more familiarity with than others. Jacob Lopez. This could be a sneaky Jacob Lopez strikeout spot.
Yeah, right. Like I can't decide what to do with Lopez or the Diamondbacks. I think one side of that is going to do well here.
I agree. It's a both sideser. It's a both sideser. Such a fly ball.
I struggle to see both sides, like one side not doing well. They're both just so cheap.
And then the Angels and White Sox, you had alluded to it before. This evening game environment, I'm leaning now towards kind of standing pat and avoiding Coors and just waiting for that last window. It's an hour and a half after Pittsburgh and Colorado. They don't start at their normal, 5:40 Pacific, 8:40 Eastern time start time. They go at 5:10 today, 8:10 Eastern time. So you get an hour and a half of information for that evening window where you could get yourself to some really nice lower owned stacks. So I'm probably inclined to be going that direction now, but White Sox, Angels, preferred side for both of us, it sounds like, are the White Sox.
I like both sides, though. I really do. I like both sides.
Maybe I am cheering against all the early stacks entirely, but finishing building out some of the stuff here on my end in my tab with the Sims here as we're going along. But any stacks that you're pretty against? Because I see we have no Boston, no Cleveland, no Miami, no Yankees really whatsoever, even though that's probably the one that I'm not okay with. Like I want to get to a couple more Yankees. Jansen Junk must pay for his sins.
Yeah. No stack I'm really like against. No, I wouldn't put it like that at all. I mean, I think you can make cases for a ton of stacks on this slate. I even said Minnesota is a team I'm interested in. They're so cheap up top. Like, I think the top of their lineup specifically has upside. So, yeah, I like getting to a little Minnesota here. I don't think they look that much different than Boston, and they both have the same top stack percentage.
So is everyone just playing Williams against Minnesota? I'm late. Yeah, they are. It's really
that's why I like Minnesota. There's so much leverage on the Twins here. Like, I don't know. Gavin Williams just isn't good enough to be this highly owned ever. And I'm a Gavin Williams truther, but I see him for who he is. And I'll stay. I mean, nothing's going to change that for me. Doesn't mean he won't be great tonight, but I think the Twins are sneaky here. If nothing else, I think they could get to him and make Gavin Williams not nuke this slate as projected and expected.
Robbie Ray away from San Francisco, and San Francisco traded one of their best bullpen arms. Mets look intriguing today. Let me tell you something about that bullpen arm. He was not having a good year. Duvall was not having a good year whatsoever, and they are probably happy that they don't have to deal with that headache anymore. Crazy amount of talent, but there were so many games where I'd turn it on, and the announcers would have this impending sound of dread as soon as he got up to throw, and I'm like, I thought Duvall was better than this, but it had been an interesting year to say the very least for him to this point. But my main point here is that I like Pete Alonso as a one-off today. I'm not against that. Just don't love getting to a bunch of these lefties against Robbie Ray. Doesn't look like great hitting weather in New York either. Like, I just think that there's so much better stuff coming up later in the evening. You don't have any desire to stack against Robbie Ray today, do you?
Nah, not really. He doesn't give up much power, and it's such a big slate. I'm good on that.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be good on that one too, but wanted to at least throw it out there because it's good to be talking about these things. The pace for shin stick might need a tweak. Fuck off. No, I do what I want. It's my bit. It's 1 week of a bit. I literally haven't said it until like last week at one point. It's fun. I know the announcers are fantastic. Saucietti. I love them. But how do you feel about Duvall being gone? I bet you feel better. I bet you woke up in the morning with a nice cup of coffee, a little pep in your step, feeling a little more chipper, knowing that you don't have to deal with him in an eighth inning ever again.
Yeah, don't hate it. Although, again, as I mentioned yesterday, it just makes me saddened by what we could have gotten for Class A. So, yeah, who, in my opinion, is better than him. So, we'll never know.
Yep, take it from the San Francisco fan here. Duvall was trash this season. Yeah, it was brutal. Brutal.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Duran. Sorry, from the Twins, weren't you?
Oh, no. He was having a great year.
Class A is still better than him, though.
Yeah, but Class A wasn't having like an elite year by any means.
No, he wasn't.
Happens when you're down 1-0 in every count.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
God, I'm funny. I can't help it. All right, let's go to the single lineup simulator. Let's take a look. It's in our book, Reading Rainbow. Let's build out a lineup for the people as we're going along here. We'll kind of readdress there's no weather. Like, there's not even a remote talking point about the weather today, other than like wind was blowing in at Wrigley. Hopefully you noticed and bet the under of 8.5 with me last night because it closed at 7.5 and it was 1-0 today. Should have bet an actual score. I should have done that. I should do that on some of those Wrigley wind games, but I feel like the Cubs always find like random runs through the running game. Didn't happen today. 1-0. Beautiful stuff. But like, I don't see anything on this main slate to be remotely worried about other than the typical, hey, if it's a pop-up in Tampa or a pop-up in Colorado, what are you going to do about it?
Totally. I don't think there's anything to concern yourself with at all.
All right. As we build out this lineup, we have to decide. Gavin Williams, we're just eating the chalk. Yes.
I know you want to, so sure.
Ooh, you don't want to. All right.
I don't want to.
Wow. Tell me where we're going, Mr. Cleveland himself, going against Gavin Williams.
I like, personally, my two favorite pitchers are Gilbert and Rodon at ownership. But again, I get Gavin Williams. Like, don't get me wrong. Certainly, this Twins lineup could be the worst lineup in baseball. We don't know as of right now, and Williams is too cheap. So plug him in here. I don't mind it.
Okay. Let's do. This is tough.
Here's the thing. Let me just ask you this.
Let's try the Rodon Gilbert with White Sox, because that's something that I think we're both interested in doing in single entry. Let's build out what this looks like.
Let's do it.
All right.
Let me ask you this also, just before we do this. Like, right now, where we're projecting Gavin Williams, I think he's a really good play, actually, like 35 or whatever %. But what if you knew, and again, I could be off here, what if you knew he was going to be like higher than 50%? Would that change how you felt about him?
Yes, and it should. Like,
yeah, just curious to see. But all we can go off of is the projection. So moving on.
Correct. And he's not going to simulate out as well. So keep that in mind when we get to the run simulation. You'd probably need to change what we're looking at in terms of his ownership. Like, I would have to actually change it here, and something that you're allowed to do. So like, We can literally do that for you. You can actually upload your own projections into the single lineup simulator. It's such a great tool, and I cannot wait to use it during the NFL season. It was my favorite. At the end of last year's NFL season, I was using this every single day. Probably going to be sharing it on shows this year too, because it's such a great tool. But let's build out this White Sox stack. I obviously put Miguel Vargas in there. He hits the ball high, if nothing else, going up against a lefty. Miguel Vargas, probably your second best bat now that Mr. Luis Robert has rejoined the land of the living and didn't get traded. What a shocker.
Yeah, I will say Tyler Anderson's another guy with reverse splits. I like righties against him, but I don't mind lefties against him at all either. So I'm good with this entire lineup, but Cuero hitting second, I think, is a really strong play.
All right, let's throw in Cuero. We're going to throw him in. Beautiful stuff. I'm probably going to go to Colson Montgomery next. This kid is starting to show out a little bit. I like what I've seen from him. He also has a pretty great little swing. I'm going to throw him in at shortstop here, Colson Montgomery.
I like that call. I think we got to play Luis Robert here. Way too cheap, projects really well.
Yeah, Luis Robert, probably my favorite outside. As you said, reverse splits, we've got some interesting options to finish this out. I am going to probably end up going the Lennon Sosa route, 2,600 second base. Now we get 2 outfield spots to be able to kind of dealer's choice exactly what we want to do here in terms of ownership and projection. And I think we're going to be in a really good spot with this. So there's our 5-man so far for the White Sox. Let's complete the lineup. Lots of iterations of what we can finish out with. It gives us Triolo, Cruz, and Reynolds. So straight out 5-3 that we can run with the simulations. Obviously, you guys can take advantage and get these tools for free. I had talked about it before. I'll bring it up one more time for you. 23.5% simulated ROI. So it is positive EV with us. That looks lovely. And then the DFS Sims tools. They can be yours just by checking out any of these sites. Get a free month of any core DFS package for any sport, which I would assume MLB is probably what you're looking for the next month. That'll run you right up next to the NFL. And then you could turn that into NFL by signing up with another book or another pick'em site. So take advantage of that. Anybody on your screen outside of Wanna Parlay, they are not available for that offer. So you want to check out everything else there on the screen. There's a link down there, stokastic.com/DFS Sims tool, DFS-Sims-4-free. Way to go, Eric. I can say words in order. Shout out me. All right. We got a great lineup there. I want to build one more because we just went towards the contrarian double spend up here. I do want to build out the chalkier with the Gavin Williams version and Logan Gilbert. Give me another stack that you have tons of interest in for today.
Let's do Arizona.
I love this one. Is fascinating. I'm going to go to the first base side and I'm going to click on Tyler Locklear immediately. 2,500. This ownership I expect to come up. That is a low number on a 2,500 guy batting fifth.
Who's been raking,
just destroying AAA. It is the PCL, so like Pacific Coast League it's baseball on the moon. You get
right, but they're in Sacramento tonight.
Exactly, they're in Sacramento where it is baseball, not on the moon because it's actually lower than where Oakland Coliseum sits. I think that's a funny fact, but wind out, AAA confines. They've been friendly this year, to say the least.
Undoubtedly.
Shh. You're at the wrong place. We're here to talk about and help and give good information. The White Sox, I think, look fantastic for single entry. They're probably who I'm going to end up playing when it's all said and done. I already regret the decision, but this is a team that I have tons of interest in as well. I started with Tyler Locklear. Who are you going to next?
Let's go Lourdes Gurriel.
Love. All right, Lourdes Gurriel, he's clicking in there next. Let's go to Ketel Marte because I heard he's good at baseball.
He is extremely good at baseball. Very expensive.
Matches left.
Well-deserved. God, you know what stinks at Arizona? I put my finger on it. I couldn't figure it out. No Del Castillo in the lineup.
Yeah.
I hate that. But
it's not as fun.
Move on.
Herrera sucks. Yep.
He stinks. But Barossa, 2,200 hitting 7th, I think is a fine play.
What position is he here?
Outfield.
Outfield. There we go. Barossa batting 7th here. This is funny because these are all the guys that like I watched when I was in Scottsdale for a couple of weeks during spring training. It's like they're getting the old band back together. It's going to be fun times. Let's get our last guy in. I think I want to go Blaze Alexander instead of Perdomo, dude, because Perdomo, better projection there, but what's that upside on a day in, day out basis? He's got to get 3 hits and, run the line a couple of ways. I'm not saying don't play Perdomo by any means, but I do think just going cheap here and then completing the lineup with the expensive bats. Oop, got to click out of that. I remembered last time. That was good times. Let's finish this out. Shea Langoliers up there up top, Tovar and O'Neal Cruz, which we could easily just turn into our boy, Ohtani. That sounds pretty good to me too. Let's run that lineup simulation and see where we land here. This is a 5-1-1-1, which I enjoy, like the second half binary, 47.9% simulated ROI. So we showed you 2 different paths where you can still mix in a little bit of Coors Field with Tovar, if you wanted to go O'Neal Cruz in that specific lineup, or have the 3-man, a 5-3 with the White Sox and 3 Pittsburgh pieces, kind of like what we did here in the single lineup sim. Let's jump to FanDuel. We got ourselves a little bit of FanDuel love here for the people. Who do we want to click on for single entry for the people on FanDuel?
I like Gilbert the most personally, so let's just lock him in.
Okay. We can go to the chalkier Gilbert side of things. Yeah, Gilbert Williams, there's a reason that they're pulling the 50% ownership. Probably going to end up being more than that because I do expect that Gavin Williams number to come up. But one thing that's different about FanDuel, and we don't have that craziness of the Ohtani, we don't have to think about anything of that nature, so that's off the table. But Coors Field, 20 and 9% is kind of where they're sitting at, respectively, Pittsburgh and Colorado. On FanDuel, it is 25% ownership going to Pittsburgh, the most ridiculous ownership we've had in a long time on a double-digit slate. And Colorado's at 12%. 38% ownership total cumulative going towards Coors Field. That is a ton, Matt. Do we want to embrace it or get away from it in this build?
Let's get away from it in this build.
Okay, let's get away from it. We got at the Athletics in Arizona, also popping there. Angels and White Sox also popping on FanDuel. Let's get away from those evening games. Let's try to find one stack that we can kind of like mix in that's a little bit underutilized. Do you have a favorite that we could put together? Do you want to try the Dodgers over here? Because they look pretty good.
Let's do it.
And I kind of like the idea of being able to piece together exactly who we want to get to on that side. I will begin. Yeah. I brought it up before. Reverse splits. I would like to start in the outfield here on FanDuel with Teoscar Hernandez.
Yeah, I like that call out. I like your loading up on righty. So we'll go 5-6 Pajes.
Love. We're going to throw in Ohtani because it's Shohei Ohtani. Just eating up the outfield.
Yeah. Let's go Mookie next.
Ooh, Mookie rounding it out for everybody here. The other option you could have, if you really wanted to make it work, you could go away from the Ohtani piece and you could mix in Will Smith. Wouldn't hate that either. Just fine with that here. I'm not saying don't play any Freddie Freeman, but I'm definitely going to, in one lineup, not play Freddie Freeman, looking at the numbers for Mr. Shane Baz this season. Did it again. I played with your heart, got lost in the game. Ooh, baby. Complete this lineup. Oh, wouldn't you know it? Pittsburgh shows up in our lives no matter what. And this Warning Bernabel, who I've heard more about today than you could ever believe, 2,400. He might be Looney Tunes ownership when it's all said and done. 8.6%. It could be up from there. Isaiah kind of Falefa pulling that much ownership. He better steal some bases, that's for sure. And we're going to run the simulation. We're going to take a look. It's in our book, Reading Rainbow. Negative 20.8% simulated ROI. So we'd want to be doing a little bit of something different here or there. But I will say, you're going to get a low-owned Dodger team, I think, relative to their chances of being successful. So there's ways of piecing that together, finding a little bit better expected value. And I think maybe a Gavin Williams plus some of that could help you find that. But on FanDuel, hopefully that is a little bit helpful for you, being able to talk through the process of it. And I will also say this for FanDuel purposes. O'Neal Cruz is 44% owned, Matt.
I mean, he's 25% owned on DK. Yeah, man. I mean, that's just, yeah, it's outrageous. Like, I only want to play him in a Pittsburgh stack, but that's just me.
No, thank you. We got 5 minutes left in our show, of course. We are going to get ourselves to the you-know-what portion of the show. Dong of the day. Dong of the day. It is not Emac, it's Eric. He's annoying. Eric's annoying, but he's singing. I love you. I love you. I love you. I made it Elf, but then it's Dong of the day. Dong of the day. This is my place of employment. Don't mind me. Matt Bellman, tell the people. You've been fantastic here over the course of this week. We've had an unbelievable time having you on the entire week. Make sure you guys are following Matt Bellman at Fantasy Tips Matt, giving you the goodness here. And he has been awesome, not just on this show, but in the DFS streets, giving you dongs, even dongs that aren't in his lineup and he didn't bet, like Freddie Freeman in Cincinnati. What the hell is wrong with this person? Preferably somebody in your lineups, Matt. Who's going yard for the people?
Let's go with the guy we just recently discussed, Tyler Locklear, going yard today. First game as a
wow. I love that. I might actually just have to end up betting him when it's all said and done. Look at that. Our great stack ROI as we click over to the DraftKings side here with Mr. Locklear. I have to say it again. When you get Nick Kurtz, anything in this like plus 300 realm, and it's since come down from a betting perspective. And then on DraftKings, when you can see him at 5,900 and know that that's going to limit his ownership, give me the guy who has 4 home run upside, apparently. Nick Kurtz going up against Desclafani, who I do not believe that he's going to be good going forward once they stretch him out, get him lengthened out there. Former Cincinnati castoff. Not a huge fan of his stuff. Give me the prodigal son, Nick Kurtz. We've got so many people in there. Brent Rookerdong, absolutely love to see it. Locklear wearing Suarez number 28. That's nice of him. Ketel Marte. Juan Soto there for Ricardo Nelson. We got Tovar for Yobo. Good greens. Love to see it. NY Stiegel J. Otani, that's cheating. McMahon, Caminero. Ooh, that's kind of an interesting duo. Those are very contrarian options. Yeah, Barnabell. I've not seen this much conversation about a guy I didn't know who he was until I woke up. Like, Barnabell, don't know what to think of that. Colson Montgomery, your lips to God's ears, single entry darling for me. Cody Clemens, double dong. Oh, God, that would be absurd. But you know what? That is going to do it here for our little show. First, though, before we get out of here and sign off, Greg's missing you guys. Greg Ehrenberg is missing you guys. So much so that he just recorded this.
It's best ball season and DraftKings is giving all customers a can't-miss offer. Draft one, get one. Enter a lineup in the $15 million best ball contest for just $20, and you'll score another best ball ticket to play free for a share of $15 million, giving you a second chance to win big. Download the DraftKings Daily Fantasy app now to draft your $20 best ball lineup to play for a share of $15 million and get a second ticket to play free for a share of $15 million. That's 2 chances to win big without ever setting your lineup again. Draft one, get one, only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. 18 plus in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions do apply and void where prohibited. 1 per customer. Enter the Best Ball $15 million headliner contest by September 4th, 2025 to get 1 bonus entry. $20 entry fee required. Reward expires in 30 days. See terms at DraftKings.com/NFL-best-ball, sponsored by DraftKings.